With the Planet Fitness Black Card, you don't just get a great workout, you get a great perk out because your membership is packed with perks. For $1 down and $24.99 a month, you'll get perks like access to any of our 2,400 clean and spacious locations. Bring a friend anytime and both work out with tons of equipment that'll give you that big fitness energy. Relax in the Black Card spa and more. Work out and perk out with the PF Black Card. Join for just $1 down and $24.99 a month.
Join a club near you. Offer ends November 13th.
See Home Club for details.
All right, Wilson, let's get going. America has spoken. It is 6:32 in downtown Billings. A little chilly, 31 degrees out there. And here is a look at First News, fair, accurate. You get the damn truth. Donald Trump was elected the 47th president of the United States. He's the first person convicted of a felony to win the White House. You see what they're doing? By the way, that's on appeal. And the first president to regain power in 1892. The victory marks an extraordinary comeback for a man who refused to accept defeat 4 years ago, who sparked a violent insurrection at the U.S. Capitol. See, this is AP. This is AP, folks. This is what they do. Donald Trump scored the victory in a divided nation. He exposed weaknesses within the Democratic base. He also beat back concerns about his moral failings. Listen to this kind of stuff, folks. They will not let up. He will be tested immediately. He will have control of the Senate. We know that for sure. A lot of the House is still up for grabs. But President Trump did not need this job, folks. He did it because he loved his country. And last night in his acceptance speech, he said this will be and turn out to be the golden age of America. He said, quote, "I want to thank you all very much. This is great. We have thousands of people involved in this incredible movement, a movement that nobody has ever seen before." He also said it is an extraordinary honor to be elected the 47th president. And every citizen, I want you to know I will fight for you. I will fight for your family and your future. Every single day I will be fighting for you. And with every breath in my body, I will not rest until we have delivered a strong, safe, and prosperous America that our children deserve and that you deserve. Folks, I guarantee you, President will not go on 182 days of vacation a year.
True.
He will not be sitting on the beach. He will be at the White House more than any president we've ever had in the past. And you can take that to the bank. Around the country, a lot of initiatives showed you that America was sick of the direction we were going in. In fact, abortion rights advocates that thought that they would win every election in every place in America, they lost. They lost in Florida. They lost in Nebraska. They lost in South Dakota. They were able to put them on in 7 of the most liberal states around. The verdict of U.S. voters was more decisive than most of the pundits and analysts had predicted. Now the world is waiting to see whether the election of Trump as president will be as destabilizing as many fear. Listen to that. Folks, we had peace before when he was president. The destabilization has come during the Harris-Biden administration. We have wars everywhere. China's on the move. It's crazy what these people say, and they will not let up. By the way, Iran, their currency fell to an all-time low overnight. That's right. As Donald Trump clinched the presidency again, they're in big trouble. Stock prices, bond yields, and Bitcoin have surged as voters return President Trump, pro-business, back to the White House. He has promised tax reductions for most America. Corporations, businesses will get more money in their pockets in order to pass that on to you, the workers, if he can just get the House. That is still up in the air. Constitutional amendments declaring that only citizens can vote in elections passed. Idaho, Iowa, Kentucky, Missouri, North Carolina, Oklahoma, South Carolina, Wisconsin. Arizona voters approved a measure. It makes it a crime to come into this country. if you're not here legally. Yes, folks, the people in Arizona who have been inundated with illegal immigrants for the last 4 years put a stop to it. What'd they do in California? They took more steps towards tougher crime laws that Kamala Harris, when she was there, relaxed. These laws are going back into effect. In fact, they approved measures in California, folks, that makes shoplifting a felony if you do it twice. That's right. Businesses, small mom and pop shops, ransacked, ruined by gang activity and gang shoplifting. They passed a law. It's now a felony. They've also increased penalties for drug cases involved with fentanyl in California, trying to get people off of that. They also rolled back the law in California that made it a misdemeanor or not a crime at all if you stole $950 of value from a store. Guess what? They voted that law is no longer on the books, folks. They had it with the direction of America. A campaign to legalize marijuana failed in Florida, not able to get that passed as well. Also failing in other places like South Dakota and North Dakota. They don't want drugs and their kids into the hands of their kids. They've decided to put a stop to that. In the meantime, while all the election news was going on, we have to sleep with one eye open. Hurricane Rafael is now swirling past the Cayman Islands. It's expected to intensify as it gets towards Cuba. Could be a Category 2 by the time it gets there. Still kind of early from the National Hurricane Center in Miami to tell, though, which way this storm could possibly be moving. Whether it hits Florida or whether or not it will go out to sea is yet to be seen. It was a mostly smooth election day, too, nationwide. All kinds of barriers and parameters were put in place to make sure that we didn't have the problems that we had in 2020. However, there were some things that happened across America. They had bomb threats being called in Arizona, Georgia, and Pennsylvania. Isn't that a coinky-dink that only the swing states had the bomb threats to try to intimidate people to stay away from the polling booths? It did not work. The threats were reported throughout the day at those locations, but the FBI said many of them were hoaxes, and so they cleared that up right away. Western security officials suspect that Russia was behind a plot to put incendiary devices and packages on some cargo planes that were bound for North America. One caught fire, actually, at a hub in Germany. Lithuania's prosecuting general said there were unspecified number of people that had been detained in several countries where Russia was trying to sabotage Ukrainian allies and their airlines on these planes that were packing cargo heading for North America. On the business side of things, Bernie Marcus, who was the co-founder of Home Depot, he died, billionaire, philanthropist, big Republican donor. He died at age 95 in Boca Raton, Florida. He was Home Depot's CEO for more than 20 years, and then he retired. Home Depot, by the way, is now the world's largest home improvement chain. As we mentioned on the business side, stock prices, bond yields, Bitcoin, futures, all surging today. Investors expect that with a Trump win, we will see fast economic growth and more business-friendly policies ahead for the U.S. market. So they were all going higher today. Boeing workers will be back on the job today after they approved a settlement for their strike. They will get a 38% pay raise. The war on automobile companies, you can see some relief coming for them, and we can see the results and the impact that electric vehicle mandates was having on them. Honda said their profits slipped 20% in the first half of this year. They suffered immensely. Toyota's July-September profit, it sunk to less than half of what it was in the same period from the previous year. All these electric vehicle things are not paying off for the auto dealerships. We already heard from Ford, General Motors, and Volkswagen, also Stellantis, and here's two of the other ones. Japanese video maker Nintendo's chief said its new Switch console sales are going strong. They promised that Nintendo, even though they had a 60% drop in their fiscal first half of the year profit because of declining sales, they're hoping this new Switch console will get people hooked again. People may want to keep playing their offerings on this new system. They're hoping for a big Christmas. Well, it was a red wave in Montana like nothing we've ever seen before yesterday. Republican Tim Sheehy, who has been serving his country since the age of 18, defeated three-time Democratic Senator Jon Tester, alienated himself with a lot of Montanans, saying that if you weren't born and raised here, you don't belong here. The Navy SEAL wins yesterday. He aligned his campaign with President Trump. By the way, Jon Tester had never had to run in an election before on a year when Donald Trump was on the ticket. Mm-hmm. This is the first time that had ever happened. So the 18-year appendage of Chuck Schumer has now been thrown out by the people of Montana. Yes, folks, by the people you saw standing outside of Metro yesterday in cold, blustery wind. They wanted to make sure that he got the message, and he did. Republican Ryan Zinke, he wins re-election to the U.S. House. Zinke will serve his second term now in the Western Montana District after he defeated, again, another rematch with Democrat Monica Tranel. In the eastern side, Troy Downing will now advance and represent us in Congress over here. He didn't get any headlines because he won easily on the eastern side. Montana Republican Greg Gianforte, he has won a second term, defeated his Democrat challenger Ryan Busse. The victory continues Republican control in the state, where the GOP also enjoyed a supermajority in the state legislature after all the votes were counted. So it looks like the Republicans had a clean sweep here. AP, though, even mentioned in this story about the body slamming incident of a reporter from 2017, folks.
Oh, my God.
This is what you're up against with the media. The media also yesterday took a big hit, folks. It destroyed them and their narratives and their relentless attacks and their biased reporting. It doesn't matter if it was a newspaper. It doesn't matter if it's your local TV stations, national news networks. They did everything in their power for 4 years to dissuade you and prevent you from putting the people you wanted in place. And yesterday was a clear mandate that it did not work. The clean sweep in Montana is evidence of that, and we still don't know about the control of the House of Representatives. There's still a lot of those that are still up in the air to see who has control of the House. But going into 2025, the Republicans will have control of the Senate, and they will have control of the executive branch. That's for sure. Cat Country News Time is 6:45. Sports and weather is next.
A couple things about what you say. Coach of the Oklahoma State football team, Gundy, they were expected to contend this year, and they're 0-6 in conference play. And he said during a press conference, you got these people in the end, when they go to bed at night, they're the same failure that they were before they said anything negative about everybody else. So he had to go and apologize for that. And Paul and I were talking about this. Joel Embiid from the 76ers has been suspended 3 games because he shoved a reporter. He shoved the reporter because the reporter questioned his professionalism, his effort to stay in shape, and then also wrote about his late brother and his son. He said, the next time you bring up my dead brother and my son, you're going to see what I'm going to do to you, and I'll live with the consequences.
Oh, yeah. Well, get out of his face.
Right.
You know. Well, today we kind of break out of the storminess, although it will be a little chilly today, 42 degrees. Not like yesterday. We had snow around, blustery wind, dirt, all kind of that, and you Patriots stood out there and voted anyway. 53 tomorrow, Friday 59, 61 on Saturday, and the future even looks brighter than that. Downtown 31 out there right now. Few high clouds. That's what's happening. Mark and Paul here together. Thanks for tuning into the Cat.